You step into the quiet of the evening, where the air feels both cool and comforting, carrying the scent of pine and distant rain. The sky above is brushed with the last light of sunset, streaks of soft lavender and gold stretching like gentle banners across the horizon. As you breathe in, you sense that this night holds meaning, that the path ahead is calling you toward something greater than yourself. The village you stand within has always been a small and simple one. Children laugh in the narrow streets during the day. The baker calls out warm greetings as fresh bread fills the air, and the sound of hammers and bells carries from the smithy. Yet in the last several weeks, fear has begun to ripple through the hearts of those who live here. Smoke has been seen rising on distant hillsides, glowing shapes moving across the clouds at night. The old storytellers whisper of dragons, creatures of ancient power, fierce and beautiful, who are said to be guardians of forgotten treasures and ancient truths. But these dragons are restless, and their flight has brought unease to the town. The elders gathered you earlier this evening in the hall, voices hushed, candles flickering as shadows clung to the wooden walls. They told you what many feared to say aloud: the dragons are drawing near. No one knows why. Some believe they seek vengeance, others fear they have awoken from a slumber disturbed. Whatever the reason, the town is vulnerable. The people turned their eyes to you, not with desperation, but with a quiet faith, as though they somehow knew you were chosen for this very task. And so here you stand, on the edge of the cobblestone street, feeling the weight of destiny resting lightly upon your shoulders. It does not feel heavy, but alive, like a flame waiting to grow. A soft hand touches your arm. It is Mara, the healer of the village, her eyes gentle yet strong. "You will not walk this road alone," she says softly. "The path is long, and the trials will test you, but remember this: the dragons are not only creatures of destruction. They are keepers of wisdom. Sometimes what we fear most carries the very gift we need." Her words settle in your heart like seeds ready to take root. You gather your cloak, your satchel, and the blade gifted to you by the smith, its edge gleaming faintly under the lantern light. As you step away from the village and toward the darkened forest path, the townsfolk gather quietly behind you. They do not cheer, nor do they weep. They simply stand together, lanterns glowing like a constellation of stars, offering their silent blessing as you take the first step into the unknown. The forest embraces you with its hush, the sound of crickets and owls rising in a quiet symphony. Branches stretch overhead like cathedral arches, and the path glows faintly with the silver of moonlight breaking through the leaves. Every step seems to echo with unseen presence, as though the forest itself is aware of your purpose. You walk until the village lights fade entirely, replaced by the gentle glimmer of fireflies drifting in the dark. Their glow gathers in clusters, forming shifting shapes that almost seem like symbols, signs pointing you onward. At one point, the fireflies swirl into the outline of wings before scattering. The sight leaves your heart thrumming with both wonder and caution. Hours pass, and you begin to feel the weight of the night upon your body. Just as your strength begins to ebb, you come across a clearing. In the center lies a pool, its water so still it reflects the sky with perfect clarity. You kneel to drink, but as your fingertips touch the surface, the reflection shivers, and suddenly another face gazes back. Not your own, but the visage of an elder, weathered and wise, eyes glowing like embers. Seeker of truth, the voice speaks, not aloud but within your mind. The dragons are not as you believe. To face them is not merely to fight, but to understand. One hides anger, another sorrow, another fear, and another hope. They are mirrors of the soul, each guarding not only flame, but a lesson. To save your village, you must not only stand against their fire, you must see yourself within their eyes. The reflection fades, leaving only the still water once more. A ripple spreads outward where your hand touched, carrying the words into silence. You rise with a new sense of gravity, a deeper awareness pressing at the edges of your thoughts. Dragons as mirrors, what could that mean? And yet, something inside you already knows, this journey will not be one of simple strength, but of discovery. You follow the path again until dawn begins to stir on the horizon. The first rays of light catch upon the edges of stone, revealing ruins scattered among the trees. Pillars broken, walls crumbled, vines weaving through the remnants of what once must have been a temple or great hall. As you explore, you sense a presence waiting here, something older than the forest itself. Your steps echo softly on cracked stone as you approach what looks like an altar. Etched upon its surface are symbols you cannot fully understand, but they seem to hum faintly with life, like the whisper of a forgotten language. Before you can lean closer, the ground trembles. Dust falls from the broken walls. And then you hear it. A low, resonant sound, rolling like thunder through the trees. Not from the sky, but from beneath. The earth splits slightly at the edge of the ruins, light glowing from the crack as though fire itself were alive below the surface. You step back, heart pounding, yet strangely steady, for the voice of the elder at the pool still lingers within you. To save your village, you must not only stand against their fire. You must see yourself within their eyes. The trembling ceases, and silence floods back into the ruins. But you know this is no accident. The dragons are near, perhaps nearer than you realized. You steady yourself, gripping the hilt of your blade, not in fear, but as a reminder of the path you walk. Whatever awaits, you will face it. Not only for your village, but for the truth that lies hidden within the flames. And with that resolve, you step further into the ruins, ready for what the next trial will reveal. You step deeper into the ruins, the air cool and filled with the scent of moss and age-old stone. Light filters in through cracks in the canopy above, revealing fractured carvings across the walls, depictions of dragons entwined with stars, rivers, and flames. You run your hand over one of the symbols, its groove still warm, as though the stone itself remembers the creatures it portrays. The silence is not empty here. It hums, alive, as if countless eyes were watching, though none are seen. You move carefully, each footfall echoing on cracked marble, until the path leads to a staircase spiraling down beneath the ruins. A faint glow flickers below, drawing you deeper. At the base of the stairs, you find a cavern carved by both hands and nature, its walls lined with crystals that shimmer softly. At the center lies a circle of stone, an ancient mark etched into the ground. As you step near, the crystals flare brighter, their light reflecting from every angle until the cavern shimmers like starlight. Then you hear it, the sound of wings. Slow at first, then thunderous. The ground quakes lightly, dust falling from the cavern ceiling. From the far shadows, a form emerges, scales dark as night, edges glinting with deep violet light. The dragon lowers its head, eyes burning like coals. Yet it does not strike. Instead, the beast regards you with a stillness that feels both testing and expectant. Its voice enters your mind, vast and resonant. You walk with courage, though fear curls at the edges of your spirit. You come here not merely to defend, but to learn. Do you know who I am? The question hangs heavy, though you do not know the answer. Still, you find words rising unbidden from within you. You are one of four. You guard more than fire, you guard a truth. The dragon's eyes narrow slightly, then soften, as though amused. You listen, it rumbles. Few who come before me hear anything but their own heartbeat. I am sorrow's flame. To face me is to face what weighs upon your spirit. Speak, traveler, what sorrow do you carry? The question cuts through you like wind over cold water. You try to form words, but your throat tightens. Images rush through your mind, times you have failed, faces you could not protect, moments where you stood powerless. For an instant, you wish to turn away, to hide. But you recall the elder's words at the pool, the dragons are mirrors. You steady your breath and let the memory surface. You speak of the fear of losing your village, of the weight of responsibility, of the quiet ache of walking into the unknown. Each word seems to loosen the coil within your chest. The dragon lowers its head closer, smoke curling from its nostrils. You honor sorrow by naming it, it says. But remember this, sorrow is not your end. It is a bridge. Walk across it, and it becomes strength. As the dragon exhales, a plume of violet flame sweeps the cavern. Instead of burning, it washes over you like a wave of warmth. In its wake, you feel lighter, steadier. The ache is still there, but transformed, no longer dragging you down. The dragon steps back, wings folding. One trial is met. Others await. Do not forget, what you fear most holds the gift you need. Its form begins to dissolve into smoke and light, seeping into the crystals until only their glow remains. The cavern is silent once more, though you feel changed. The sorrow you carried has not vanished, but it no longer holds you captive. It has become a flame within you, steady, enduring. You climb the stairs back into the ruins, the morning sun now streaming fully through the trees. Birds call out overhead, and the air feels fresher, as though the forest itself approves of what has taken place. But as you step onto the path beyond the ruins, you see signs of movement ahead. The soil is scorched in strange patterns, as if great wings had swept across the ground. The trees are bent and blackened, their leaves shriveled to ash. And among the ruin lies something unexpected, a figure. A man, cloaked in grey, kneels in the path, his hand pressed into the dirt as though listening to the earth itself. Slowly, he rises, turning toward you. His eyes glint with an unusual light, golden, sharp, almost draconic. You have faced one, he says, voice calm yet edged with something deeper. But you are not the only one who seeks their fire. Tell me, will you walk this path alone, or shall we see where our roads entwine? The question lingers, heavy with possibility, as the forest hushes around you. You study the man carefully, the weight of his question lingering in the air. His presence feels unlike anyone you've ever met. There is a stillness to him, yet also something volatile, as though fire itself rests just beneath his skin. His golden eyes gleam faintly in the morning light, and you cannot help but recall the elder's words, "The dragons are mirrors." Could this man, too, be connected to them? He tilts his head, waiting. Though his stance is calm, there's a tension in the way his hand rests at his side, as if he could summon something at a moment's notice. His cloak stirs in the breeze, edges scorched faintly, as though fire has licked at it more than once. "I know who you are," he finally says, voice steady, almost reverent. "Or at least, who you are becoming." Few walk willingly into sorrow's flame and emerge unbroken. That dragon would not have allowed you to leave had you failed. You carry its mark now. You instinctively glance at your hand, and for the first time you notice a faint shimmer across your skin, a thin, violet pattern, almost like scales, faint enough to vanish when the light shifts. The man's lips curve in a knowing smile. "You see," he says softly, "the trials are not meant to destroy you. They change you." The silence stretches. You could walk away, carry this journey alone, but something in his words suggests he knows more than he admits. He speaks not as one who guesses, but as one who has already walked similar paths. "Who are you?" you ask finally. His eyes sharpen, but he does not flinch. "Once, I was what you are now. A seeker. The village I swore to protect fell to flame before I could learn what the dragons truly guarded. In my failure, I sought their truths not as salvation, but as possession. I believed if I could wield their power, I would never again be powerless." His voice grows quieter, almost fragile. But power without understanding burns everything it touches. He raises his hand, and you see it tremble faintly, skin cracked as though heat lives within him. A faint flicker of flame dances between his fingers before dying out. He lowers his hand quickly, as though ashamed. "I have faced 2 trials," he says. "Fear and anger. I carry their fire, but not their wisdom. That is why I wander. Perhaps with you, I may yet learn what I failed to grasp." His gaze steadies on you, unreadable. "So I ask again, will you walk this path alone, or will you let me walk beside you?" You weigh his words. He is dangerous, of that you are certain. But you also sense his danger is not aimed at you, not yet. There is something raw in him, scarred, burdened, yet not entirely lost. His presence could either strengthen your journey or shadow it. Still, the dragons are said to be mirrors. Perhaps this man is one as well. You nod slowly. "Walk with me, then. But know this, I do not seek power. I seek to save my people." A faint smile touches his lips, though it doesn't reach his eyes. "Then perhaps you will succeed where I could not." Together, you walk the scorched path deeper into the forest. The land bears marks of dragon passage, great claw imprints in the soil, the scent of smoke carried on the wind, trees with bark peeled back as though by immense heat. The forest seems restless, alive with distant rustling. As the day unfolds, you and the cloaked man, who finally gives his name as Kale, travel in silence more often than not. Yet there are moments when he speaks, his words carefully chosen. He tells you of the second trial he faced, a dragon of fear, whose fire burned as pale blue light. To stand before it was to feel every doubt magnified, every possibility of failure pressed upon his spirit until he could scarcely breathe. I thought courage was the absence of fear, he says. But the dragon laughed at me. It told me courage is carrying fear and stepping forward anyway. I understood the words, but I never believed them. You listen quietly, recognizing the weight behind his confession. By evening, you reach the edge of a canyon. The earth drops away in jagged cliffs, and below, a river of molten fire winds like a living thing, its glow painting the rocks in orange and red. The heat rises to meet you, warm against your face. Across the canyon lies a vast cavern mouth, glowing faintly with shifting light. Kale's eyes narrow. The next trial waits there. Even as he speaks, a sound rises from within the cavern, a roar that shakes the cliffs, reverberating through your bones. The air trembles, and a gust of hot wind sweeps over you, carrying sparks. The roar is followed by silence, heavy and expectant, as though the creature within knows you stand waiting. Your pulse quickens, but you steady your breath. One trial has passed, and another now lies before you. Kale glances at you, golden eyes gleaming in the firelight. This one is not sorrow, nor fear. This one will test the fire you hold when anger rises. The sun lowers behind the canyon, and shadows stretch long. The cavern across the flames waits, its light pulsing like the heart of the earth itself. The path forward is clear, you must face what burns within. The canyon wind whips against your cloak as you stand at the edge, staring across the chasm toward the glowing cavern. The molten river below churns like a living thing, bursts of flame sparking to the surface before collapsing into waves of fire. Heat presses against your skin, relentless, yet strangely invigorating. Beside you, Kale remains silent. His gaze is fixed on the cavern mouth, his jaw set tight. You sense his unease, not of the dragon itself, but of what the trial represents. He has walked this path before, and though he carries the flame, he does not carry the peace of one who has overcome. The only way forward is across. A narrow bridge of stone juts out, cracked and uneven, stretching toward the cavern. Each step threatens to crumble beneath you, but there is no hesitation in your body. You move with steady breath, one foot after the other, the molten river roaring beneath you. Kale follows closely, his cloak dragging at the edges of the wind, his presence a shadow at your back. When you reach the cavern mouth, the air shifts. It is hotter here, sharper, filled with an energy that prickles across your skin. The walls glow faintly, veins of magma pulsing through the rock like arteries of fire. Deeper inside, the ground trembles with a low, rhythmic thrum, like a heart beating in slumber. And then you see them. Two eyes ignite in the darkness, twin orbs of crimson flame. The cavern fills with sound, a growl so deep it rattles stone loose from the ceiling. Slowly, a form emerges, scales like molten bronze, glowing as if lit from within, each movement sending cracks of light across its body. Its wings unfold, immense, the air rushing outward in a wave of heat. The dragon steps forward, claws striking sparks with every impact. Smoke coils from its nostrils, rising like banners of fire. Its voice fills your mind, heavy and burning. You seek to walk where anger rules. Few survive. Many claim they fight for love, for justice, for duty, yet beneath it lies only rage. Tell me, traveler, when fury burns in your chest, do you command it, or does it command you? The question cuts deeper than expected. Memories surface, moments when your anger drove you to speak too quickly, to lash when silence would have healed. Times when fire rose in your heart not as strength, but as recklessness. The dragon's presence magnifies these memories until they feel overwhelming, the weight of them pressing into your chest. Kale stiffens beside you, his face caught in the crimson glow. Do not let it consume you, he mutters through clenched teeth. His voice trembles with something raw, experience. That's how it takes hold. The dragon lowers its head, smoke curling around its teeth. Show me, it demands. Show me what you do when anger claws at your soul. The cavern shifts. Illusions rise from the molten cracks in the floor. Visions so vivid they nearly drown reality. You see your village engulfed in flame, your people crying out. You see the faces of those who doubted you, sneering, mocking. You see betrayal, loss, injustice, all rising like a storm to fuel your fury. Your hand grips the hilt of your blade. Fire builds in your chest, heat coursing through your veins until your vision blurs. The dragon's voice presses in, strike. Burn. Release it. But another voice lingers within, the memory of the first dragon, sorrow's flame, reminding you sorrow is not your end. It is a bridge. Perhaps anger, too, is not destruction, but something more. You close your eyes, breathing slowly. The images burn bright, but you do not swing your blade. Instead, you let the fire rise, and then guide it, not into violence, but into resolve. You see your people, their faces not in torment, but in hope. You see your strength not as rage, but as shield. When you open your eyes, your blade is steady, your body still. You face the dragon not with fury, but with clarity. Anger is not my master, you say firmly. It is the spark. What I do with it, that is mine to choose. For a long moment, silence reigns. The illusions flicker, falter, and dissolve into smoke. The dragon's eyes blaze brighter, but not with wrath, with approval. Then you understand, it says, voice reverberating through the cavern. Anger unbridled consumes. Anger mastered becomes fire that lights the way. It exhales a torrent of flame, crimson and gold, washing over you. The heat sears, yet does not harm. It pours into your chest, settling deep within, until your heartbeat echoes with power. When the fire fades, you glance at your arm, new markings appear alongside the violet scales, now streaked with glowing crimson lines. The dragon folds its wings, its form already fading into embers. Two trials met. Two flames joined. Remember what you carry, for it will shape what is to come. As it vanishes, the cavern quiets. Only the molten river's rumble remains. Beside you, Kale exhales, his shoulders tense. His eyes flicker with envy, but also something softer, perhaps hope. He does not speak, but you sense his thoughts turning inward, wrestling with his own unfinished trial. You step back onto the bridge together, the night air cooler than before. Above, the stars burn bright, as though they too have witnessed your choice. Kale finally breaks the silence. Two flames, he murmurs. Do you know what that means? It means the trials are guiding you faster than they guided me. It means you may be the one to face them all. His voice lowers, almost a whisper. But beware. The third trial will not be so forgiving. Fear tests the spirit, sorrow tests the heart, anger tests the will. What comes next will test everything you are. The night stretches before you, filled with both wonder and foreboding. Somewhere ahead, the third dragon waits. The night deepens as you and Kale make your way along the canyon rim, the stars stretched wide across the sky like a silver river. The molten glow fades behind you, replaced by the cool hush of crickets and the whisper of leaves. Yet the air carries a weight, a sense that the forest itself knows what lies ahead. Kale walks in silence for a long while, his golden eyes catching starlight as he glances at you now and then. At last, he speaks, his voice low, careful. The dragon of fear waits in the place where the world grows quietest. Not in flame, not in storm, but in stillness. That's why it's the hardest. Fire you can fight, sorrow you can bear, anger you can shape, but fear, he trails off, jaw tightening. Fear is the shadow behind everything. His words linger as the trees begin to change around you. The path narrows, roots twisting across the ground like veins, and the air grows heavy with mist. A pale light seeps through the fog, soft and unnatural, casting the world in silver haze. Your footsteps seem louder here, echoing as if the forest itself has fallen hollow. You pause. For a moment, it feels as though the world holds its breath. Even the night insects have gone silent. Kale's hand tightens on his cloak, his unease plain. This is it, he murmurs. The veil. Beyond this mist, the dragon waits. You nod, your chest steady but alert. You step forward, the fog curling around you like cold fingers. With each step, the world fades, trees dissolve, the ground softens, and soon you are walking not through a forest, but through emptiness. Kale's footsteps follow, though they sound distant, as if he walks at the edge of another world. Then the fog parts, and you find yourself standing in a vast expanse of silence. The ground is smooth stone, stretching endlessly. Above, no stars shine, only an endless grey sky. And at the far end of the expanse, rising from the mist, is the dragon. Its body is vast and pale, scales glimmering like moonlight. Its wings are folded close, translucent as mist. But its eyes are black voids, endless and consuming, pulling at your gaze until you feel yourself slipping. The dragon does not roar. It does not speak aloud. Instead, its voice seeps directly into your mind, cold and vast. I am the shape of your silence. I am the shadow of what might be. I am the weight of every step into the unknown. Tell me, traveler, when the world falls away, when you cannot see the path, what will you cling to? What will you become? The ground shudders. Around you, visions stir within the mist. At first faint, then clear, like memories you never wished to recall. You see yourself alone, returning to your village only to find it burned and empty, no one left to save. You see yourself failing, falling, swallowed by flame and forgotten. You see Kale's figure turning away, his eyes cold with betrayal. You see dragons devouring everything, their laughter echoing as you collapse. Each image gnaws at your heart, each one so real it carves into you. Fear tightens in your chest, whispering, "This is what waits. This is what will be." Kale shouts faintly beside you, though his voice feels muffled, distant. It isn't real. Don't let it bind you. But the dragon's voice overwhelms his, "This is truth. This is all you are destined for." Your knees nearly buckle. The vision's close in, heavy as chains. The urge rises to run, to scream, to hide. Yet somewhere deep within, a smaller voice pushes against the tide. You remember the first dragon's wisdom, that sorrow is a bridge. You remember the second's, that anger is a spark. And now, you realize, fear is a shadow. But shadows cannot exist without light. You close your eyes, breathing slow. You let the vision surround you, but instead of fighting, you face them. You acknowledge the images, loss, failure, betrayal, and whisper within yourself, "Yes. These could be. But they are not all that will be." The mist quivers. The visions falter, flickering like dying flames. You lift your head, meeting the dragon's void-like eyes. You are not truth. You are possibility. And I choose another path. For the first time, the dragon stirs. Its wings unfurl, casting the expanse in pale light. A roar rumbles, not of threat, but of release. Its body dissolves into waves of silver fire that rush toward you, filling your chest with a steady calm. The cold in your bones warms, replaced by clarity. The markings on your arm glow again, now streaked with silver to join violet and crimson. The cavern of silence fades. The ground returns. The mist thins. You stand once more in the forest, the night alive again with the sound of crickets and wind. Beside you, Kale stares in awe. His golden eyes soften, his voice low. 3 flames. You faced what breaks most men. Fear bows to you. He falls silent, and for the first time, there is no envy in him, only respect. Perhaps even hope. But before you can speak, a sound splits the air, a cry from the distance. Not a dragon's roar, but a human voice, sharp and desperate. Kale stiffens. Someone's here. The forest ahead rustles violently, shadows moving between the trees. Whoever, or whatever, awaits has not come by accident. The trials are far from over. The cry echoes again through the trees, high, raw, filled with terror. Without hesitation, you and Kale rush toward the sound, your boots pounding against the earth. Branches whip past your face as the forest thickens, the shadows deepening around you. Ahead, in a clearing bathed in moonlight, you find the source, a young girl, no more than 12, clutching a staff too large for her small hands. She is surrounded by flickering shadows, figures shifting like smoke, their forms never settling. They circle her, whispering in voices too faint to understand. The girl raises her staff, trembling. "Stay back," she cries, though her voice wavers with fear. You step forward, blade drawn, and the shadows recoil slightly, as though tasting your strength. Kale lifts his hand, golden light sparking faintly from his fingertips. But before you can strike, the girl sees you. Relief floods her eyes, though her body still trembles. "Please," she whispers. "They come every night. They won't let me leave." The shadows hiss, coiling tighter around her, feeding on her fear. You recognize the trial's essence lingering here, the last remnant of the dragon of fear, not yet dispersed. It clings to the girl, using her as an anchor. You lower your blade slowly, stepping closer. "They are not real," you say gently, your voice steady. "They are only shadows. They live because you feed them." The girl's grip tightens on the staff. Tears shimmer in her eyes. "But I can't stop. I'm too afraid." You kneel so your gaze meets hers, the forest quieting around you. "Fear does not vanish," you say softly. "But you can decide what it becomes. Look at me. I faced it, too. I thought it would drown me. But when I stopped running, when I stood tall, the shadows lost their power." The girl's breath comes fast, uneven. Her knuckles whiten around the staff. For a moment, it seems she might break. Then her eyes meet yours, something sparking deep within them. Slowly, shakily, she plants the staff into the ground. "I'm not running," she whispers. The shadows shriek, their forms writhing violently, but their strength falters. One by one, they unravel into mist, dissolving into the night. The clearing grows still. Only the sound of the river in the distance remains. The girl collapses to her knees, breathing hard, her shoulders trembling, but the shadows are gone. You place a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're safe now." Kale steps closer, his golden eyes thoughtful. "That was no accident," he murmurs. The dragon's trials ripple outward. They touch others, draw them in. This girl, she is tied to what lies ahead. The girl looks up at you, her expression fragile but resolute. They said the last dragon is waiting. That it's not just fire it guards, but truth. A truth too heavy for one heart alone. Her words chill you, though they are spoken with innocence. She clutches the staff tighter, as though it anchors her. "Please, take me with you. I don't want to face the shadows alone again. You glance at Kale. For once, he does not argue. He only nods, his expression grave. Together, the three of you press deeper into the forest. Hours pass until the trees thin, giving way to a wide plateau beneath the open sky. And there, upon the highest rock, rests the final dragon. Its body glows with every color of flame, violet, crimson, silver, gold, scales shifting like the sky at dawn. Its wings stretch wide, each feathered with fire that flickers without burning. Its eyes are not fierce, nor sorrowful, nor cold. They are clear, vast, reflecting everything you are. When it speaks, its voice is not thunder nor whisper, but both, a sound that feels like it has always lived within you. You have faced sorrow, anger, and fear. But there is one truth yet unspoken. The greatest trial is not flame without, but flame within. Tell me, traveler, who are you when no trial defines you? When no shadow stands to fight, no sorrow to name, no fear to conquer? Who are you in the stillness of your soul? The words settle deep, heavier than any trial before. You stand in silence, heart steady. Images flicker, your village, the people you love, the dragon's flames, the path you have walked. Slowly, you let the images fall away, layer by layer, until only the core of your being remains. I am not my sorrow. I am not my anger. I am not my fear, you say, your voice strong, clear. I am the choice beyond them. I am the light that remains. The dragon's eyes blaze. A great roar shakes the plateau, not of wrath but of triumph. Its flames rise, surrounding you, Kale, and the girl in a storm of color. Yet there is no pain, only warmth, power, clarity. The flames settle into you, emerging with the violet, crimson, and silver already etched upon your arm. Now, golden light joins them, completing the circle. The dragon folds its wings. So it is done. For flames as one. You carry them not for yourself alone, but for all who walk behind you. The town is safe, for the dragons need not burn what is understood. Carry this gift well, traveler. You are no longer seeker. You are flame-bearer. Its body dissolves into radiant fire, rising into the sky like dawn itself. The plateau grows still. Kale stares at you, or in his golden eyes. For the first time, peace softens his features. You did it, he murmurs. You carried what I could not. He bows his head slightly, a gesture of respect. The girl, wide-eyed and trembling, steps closer, clutching your arm. You saved me, she whispers. And you saved them. All of them. The three of you stand beneath the stars, the night quiet, the air calm. You feel no weight now, only steady light in your chest. You know when you return, your village will greet you not just as protector, but as one who has walked through fire and returned with truth. You exhale slowly, letting the silence settle. The journey is complete, but the flame within you will burn forever. And as the first light of dawn touches the horizon, you begin the walk home.